So thank you. Thank you for inviting me, and congratulations on the 15 years. So as Amanda mentioned, I was very involved in the development of a program in Mexico that was the pioneer in conditional cash transfers. I was also involved in setting up a national commission for evaluation of all programs. And so I want to talk about a semi-success, but also about a semi-failure. And that semi-failure has to do with what I think is an analytical failure of the impact evaluation literature. And I want to sort of pose this challenge because I think that looking forward, we really need to tackle this. We made great headways in evaluating individual programs. So, we had Progresa, and Amanda talked a little bit about the results. There must be more than 100 papers published on the impacts of Progresa on various dimensions of human capital. In parallel, we also put in other health programs, other daycare programs, other pension programs, other labor training programs. We never evaluated how the different pieces of the puzzle work together. We looked at individual trees. We never saw the forest. The trees, some of them were very pretty. The forest was ugly. What resulted from the development of individual, well-evaluated programs was a system of incoherent incentives that resulted in a semi-failure. 20 years after Progresa, the human capital indicators all improved. Years of schooling, morbidity, you name it. The real wages of poor workers are the same today as they were 20 years ago, despite having more education and more human capital than their elders. The fundamental reason is that the set of programs that we put together, all together, generated very perverse incentives, not only in terms of labor participation, but in terms of the formal, informal composition of the economy, the size of firms, and the growth of firms. So this is a telling story about we really need to push our game further. We've learned a lot in the last 15 years, perhaps more, about impact evaluation of individual programs. We need to develop methodologies to look at the whole. We have to think about the general equilibrium of the system. And looking at individual programs by themselves is part of the solution, but if you take the example from Mexico, and I could talk about this in Colombia, and I could talk about this in Peru and other countries in Latin America, the story is not very different. When you look at the general equilibrium of individual programs, the impacts are very different, and they're large, and not the ones that you desired. So there's a big change looking ahead and a big challenge looking ahead, and in the next 15 years of 3AE, I hope these are the sort of things that we tackle. Thank you.